mistakes video. Here we go. Hello, my historical fashion friends. It is hard to believe that I basically started sewing all of this stuff a year ago, even though I didn't post my first video until January. I actually started sewing like back in November to try to do my Foundations Revealed outfit. And I wanted to do a video on kind of the mistakes I made and what I would do differently if I was going to go back in time and do it again. Of course, I couldn't just tell myself not to do those things because I would have still done them anyway, because I am me. Some of these mistakes were just due to lack of experience and not quite knowing how things would fit, and some of them were caused by laziness or me thinking I could just cut corners and it would be fine. Turns out most things are actually done for a reason. So first off, I feel like actually my whole Roman sort of period kind of turned out pretty solid. I mean, it was just rectangle, so it's kind of hard to mess that up. Probably the most issue would be with kind of the historical accuracy of whether the, Stola or Palla was in fashion at certain times. I found it kind of hard to find anything super definitive on that, at least in the places I was reading. And I got some fun, helpful notes from a couple of people in the comments, so thank you so much for providing your insight. I really appreciate that, and I'm not one of those people who's like, no, you're wrong, don't comment and don't tell me what to do. If you know things that you want to share, please feel free to share them. I'm not a genius, so, everybody has done different research, and I appreciate hearing from all of you. Then moving on to the early medieval / Viking kind of thing, was the smocks. Now, I sort of made 3 smocks, and the first one was way too big. And I ended up using it as actually like a kirtle to go over other garments because of how large it is. Oh my god, there's something like rolling down the hallway right now. I'm going to pull it out here. I was kind of hoping it might shrink a little when I washed it, but it actually really hasn't shrunk very much. But it's this beige one that you all see pretty often, and I'm considering maybe doing a dyeing project with it because it might be fun to try to dye it some color since it's now being used as an outer garment and not a smock. The chest measurements were just like way too wide for me. I don't really understand what happened between the measuring and then me sewing. I think I kind of overcompensated thinking that I was going to mess up and do too large of a seam allowance. But no, it was just, I don't know, just kind of too big. I didn't do a middle gore, so it doesn't really sit 100% in the correct silhouette. Because I was using it originally as the undergarment, I didn't put that middle section in. But if I had known I was going to make it as an outer layer, I would have put the middle gore in. The other thing about it is that the sleeves are very wide and don't really taper at all at the wrist, so it's hard to use it as anything under anything else just because it makes it all bunchy and bulky. And I think it's kind of too heavy of a weight to really be a smock. The other thing that happened, and this happened literally 3 times to me, which is that I put the sleeves in inside out, so the seam on these sleeves is on the outside, which isn't as noticeable just because of the color and the way it's done. But I also did it again on the second one I made, which is this white one. And I thought to myself, oh, I know what I did wrong. I'll do it the opposite. But then I actually did it the same exact way. And then I did it again on this one. And this white one I'm actually pretty happy with in general, other than the sleeve issue. The sleeve actually fits really well. And the whole thing just, I think it just fits like super well. And the weight of the fabric is really good for being a smock. So overall, I'm pleased with this, except for the sleeve issue, which for some reason I just couldn't wrap my mind around because I did it a third time, which is strange because in the pink smock I made, I actually managed to put the sleeves in the correct way. And then when I was making the outfit for my husband, I then did it again, which is why it has this trim, because I had ended up really just messing up putting it in, and I was just really rushed at the time, so I didn't want to take the sleeves out and then put them back in again. And I also didn't want to fell it down because this is a pretty thick wool and I thought it would look super bulky, so I just kind of added this trim. And you know, this one is not actually made to be incredibly historically accurate, although I would say the silhouette of the ones I made for him are probably more accurate than the ones I made for me, just because the outer layer, the very outermost layer, actually has the middle gores in the back and front, and then this one was based off of another pattern I saw for men, and when he wears it, it looks really accurate, at least to me. But it's got these, you know, machine sewn kind of trims around the edge. Again, this is meant to be more of like a cosplay for Assassin's Creed more than actually being a historically documented garment. But I think now I finally have mentally figured out how to put the sleeves in, because I was always thinking, okay, should it go inside out, because when I flip it out it's going to go the other way, and kind of like logical thinking is not my strong point. So I think now I have it, and the other two garments I made for him, the sleeves went in great. So hopefully that issue is fixed. So the next outfit, or I guess mistake garment, is what my husband calls the Ketchup Dress. These are all super wrinkly because I washed them and I haven't ironed them yet. And the Ketchup Dress is more originally meant to be a history bounding type of outfit, but when I first made it, it was a nice sheath dress, and I thought, oh, I can kind of wear this with some of my historical things as like an extra layer and sort of a short sleeve kirtle type thing. But I'm going to show you here a pattern of basically what I did, which is that I just kind of traced a t-shirt and extended it down outwards to kind of avoid having to cut and sew gores. When it shrunk, it ended up fitting so strangely around my hips. So now I have to wear it with a belt or else it looks totally wrong. It doesn't sort of do the fit and flare that you see on you know, medieval garments, because it's missing the front and the back gores, and the amount that I added on the sides, it just doesn't compensate. Also, the sleeves are a little weird because they are, it was all cut as one piece, so it kind of like shrunk up oddly here. The other thing about it is that I made it using French seams because I was doing it as kind of like a 2-hour project because I wanted to bring it on a trip that I was going on and I didn't have a lot of time left. But you can see that some of the seam allowance ended up poking through the other side, so I have to go through and kind of trim all of these parts. But I would love to fix this because I actually have like a lot of this fabric left. So if you're interested in seeing me try to fix the Ketchup Dress and make it look more historically accurate, let me know in the comments and I will do a video on that. I also like the neckline of this a lot, and I would say the neckline to me kind of looks like the most accurate part about it because it really reflects some of the more like, I would say 13th to 14th century kind of plain peasanty kirtles that I have seen in artwork. And now to my shoes. The error on this was mainly me misunderstanding the directions I was reading because I was trying to read them from a book and then I kind of thought it was a back stitch, but now that I read it again, I understand that that's not what the actual stitch was. And so you can really see the seams on these shoes, which is a big no-no. And it's not quite tight.
They're not tight enough. You're disgusting.
Enough to make it like 100% waterproof, although it does work pretty well. And I'm not going to be too upset about this because it was my first time making shoes, so I am pretty proud of it, and especially considering I didn't really have the totally right tools to use to be making shoes. I'm pretty happy with them, but I would like to try making shoes again and doing the correct stitch style, which kind of, I was sort of going in and then back and then in and then back, but now I understand that it's basically like 2 strings going this way. Kind of, I guess, like how a sewing machine does it, but by hand. So hopefully I'm going to see if I have enough material left from this to make another set of shoes, because that would be really, really fun to do and try a different style and also improve my technique. And now for the worst thing. This is why I will not be cutting corners in the future, and this is why you should follow instructions. This is a true tragedy. My lovely pink shift, which I dyed myself by hand with madder, is destroyed. I foolishly thought that I could put it in the wash without finishing all of the felled seams on the inside, and I had been mentally avoiding washing it when I was using it because I kept thinking, oh, I'll finish it soon, and then when I was in New Hampshire, I just forgot and then threw it in the wash with everything else after we did the big fire that's in my Apron video. And then when I put it in afterwards, I thought, oh no, I shouldn't have put that in. It'll be fine for one wash. But it was not okay. It was not fine because I had already trimmed the seam allowance down in order to allow for me to fell the seams. And so in all the parts where it wasn't actually fell down and had been trimmed, basically there are huge holes all over the whole thing, mainly in the long seams here, just huge, like massive holes. And I don't really know if it's salvageable because it was so form-fitting that I would probably have to figure out a way to add fabric, and I don't think that I have more of this pink fabric. So yeah, basically the only thing that was 100% fell down were the sleeves, which I guess are fine. But yeah, this is really depressing. If you know of a good solution, I mean, I guess I might just have to kind of try to basically just take in all of the seams where the gores are and hope that it still fits somehow. But yeah, this is super depressing, and I have learned my lesson. Always finish your seams or never wash your clothes. But probably the first one is better. So, after 1 year of sewing, I would say main points I've learned are don't cut corners, finish your seams, and probably following patterns is best. Thanks for watching this quick video. I am working on a few more small sewing projects to kind of fill in the gaps between the two big ones that I have coming up. And also some weaving, which will be posted in the next few weeks because I want to add a trim to the hat I made in my Halloween video. And leave a comment if you have ever taken a sewing shortcut that you later regretted. I would love to read your stories and feel like I'm not the only one. But also let me know if you took a shortcut that totally paid off because, you know, maybe sometimes it does. And don't forget to subscribe for more historical sewing and adventures. We are getting so close to 100 subscribers, and I'm really excited because I want to do the fun video that I promised where I'm going to go to the store dressed in my Foundations Revealed outfit. And I am super excited to hit that milestone with all of you, and thank you for all the new subscribers that I've been getting in the last couple of weeks. I'm really excited, and I am glad people are enjoying it. Because, yeah, that's what I want to do. Make everybody have fun and show you some exciting sewing content and hopefully help you learn things as well. And also to support the idea that you can have a fun sewing hobby that uses a lot of secondhand materials and not having to spend a ton of money on new fabric or contributing to waste. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
So cute. Huh? Hi, Bebe. Are you so sweet? Yes, you are sweet. Yeah.